Last week's third quarter update painted a grim picture for Alberta. Without saving, without limiting spending increases, and without planning for the inevitable bust, government has driven this province right into another deficit. A budget is absolutely necessary, but it is only the first step out of the mess that this government has created. To the Premier, will the Premier tell Albertans what the long-term plan is to remove Alberta from these devastating booms and busts?
The Honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, the plan is, of course, over the next number of years to be very careful and pragmatic in our spending. Secondly, over the next year or two, we will have to dip into the emergency savings fund that we've set aside, especially for situations like this. And thirdly, we're going to keep investing in people, meaning education and health. And fourthly, quite frankly, is to ensure that we maintain the momentum and have all of the infrastructure in place, that as we come out of this, we're not left behind again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again to the Premier, how has this government changed its budgeting procedures now to avoid the consequences of budgeting based on volatile commodity prices?
The Honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, the changes were made a few years ago when we changed quite dramatically the accounting practices, allowing us to set aside money in what we call a sustainability fund and also in the capital fund. And the leader of the official party or opposition said, yes, we have to plan for volatile revenues, and that's what we did. So we've got $7.7 billion in sustainability. That's helping to cushion the dramatic drop in oil and gas revenues. And we also set aside $6 billion in cash for infrastructure. I'm not aware of any jurisdiction in North America that actually has cash in hand, very liquid, that we can rely on over the next couple of years to offset the dramatic revenue loss.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, as the Premier is reprofiling and, quotes, rescheduling millions of dollars of capital projects, what guarantee is there that there will be money for these projects available next year or the year after that, when we've spent everything that's come out of the ground, Mr. Speaker?
The Honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, our capital plan, it's a 5-year capital plan. The first 3 years are committed. The capital plan is $22.2 billion. That is far greater than, no matter how you measure it, per capita, no matter 2 to 3 times of any other jurisdiction in Canada. So we're well on our way of ensuring that the infrastructure is in place. The other is that we'll be very pragmatic. We want to ensure that we not only provide the schools and the hospitals that are necessary, but to also ensure that our water and sewer systems are constantly maintained, so we keep upgrading them. And those will be very wise investments, given the fact that we will have some people that may have some job losses, and this will put them back to work.
Second official opposition main question, the Honourable Leader of the official opposition.